We are heading southbound, July of 2025, and I'm so excited. I have heard that the AT is harder than the PCT. I am really excited to find out.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna look in to see if there's a marathon nearby.
The AT has more elevation gain than the PCT. And I can speak from a little bit of experience, at least with my first 800 miles that I did on the on the AT. So I have done 2 long sections on the Appalachian Trail. The first portion I did was 300 miles, where I walked from almost Amicalola, just past Amicalola State Park, to right about Sam's Gap. And then my second section, I walked from Hot Springs, North Carolina, to the Grayson Highlands National Park. I've done the 100-mile wilderness as well, and I know that just from that, there is going to be a lot of rocks. There's going to be a lot of elevation, gain and loss, and I'm here for it. Am I jealous that Robert already knows his shoes? Yeah, he has used the Ultra Lone Peaks on every single trail that we've hiked. One of the big expenses on a long trail is shoes. We went through 5 pairs of shoes on the Pacific Crest Trail, and
how's your shoes holding up?
Shoe can be anywhere from $80 to $170, depending on what shoe you go with. On the Pacific Crest Trail, we did not really ship ahead any boxes. On the Arizona Trail, we did more of that. So we have tried both, and we just found that it was simpler to resupply on trail. That seemed like a really good strategy for us, and we don't really have a lot of dietary restrictions. If you know a pair that you like, you can get them on sale, and this is what we did for the PCT. It worked out really well. Lucky me, are just making the next generation of topos. So I got these ones on sale as that generation is discontinued. And each week I've been buying a pair in my size. I have 2 pairs with the foot size that I wear right now. And then I bought 1 pair that was half a size bigger. It's not my cat. I think shoes are a very personal thing. I think that they are different and they change for every single hiker, and also depending on your needs at the time. For my first 2 sections of the Appalachian Trail, my first section I wore Ultra Lone Peaks. My second section I wore Solomon's.
Nice. Should we say a prayer for my old shoes?
And for the PCT, I mostly wore Ultra Lone Peaks. I got plantar fasciitis, and I have been training in Hokas. That is what I like to trail run in here at home. But I found that even those were hurting my feet. I think it's a little bit wider than your average shoe. It has a really aggressive tread. I do like that. And it's squishy. And it has a 5mm drop versus the Ultras have the 0 drop. And I think that that's kind of what bothered my plantar fasciitis. A big change in foot thingy though is bam! Your girl be into Crockies. So one thing I didn't do on the Pacific Crest Trail or any other long trail was have camp shoes or town shoes. First of all, I always thought Crocs were a little bit ridiculous looking. This little shimmering diamond here, $12 at Walmart. So comfortable.
two modes, chill mode, off-road mode. You imagine taking a spin in these bad boys?
Same spot. For a thing, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to tell whether or not this water is dirty. So I used apple cider vinegar. There's the mother for you. All right, thank y'all for the tip. Our Sawyer Squeeze water filters in vinegar water because I left them just in our tub. I didn't store them properly after our last hike. The REI is about to have their biggest sale of the year. So now is the time to make sure that all of our gear works and that we're not missing anything. So it's been soaking for about an hour. It was completely clogged. That's filtering it. Look it. I'm just squeezing with my hands. I'm not even using my knees. Here you go, Julia. You want some water? That really, I feel like, really helped. Awesome. For the Pacific Crest Trail, Robert and I both used a Nemo. This is a 15-degree sleeping bag, and we have decided that we are going to stick with the same sleeping bags for the AT, so they're not zipping together. The teeth are coming apart. And I looked on the Nemo website, and this is specifically what they recommended. Long-lasting, silicone-free, dries quickly, and reduces wear. So, zipper lubricant cleans harmful dirt and salt deposits from zipper teeth and lubricates zipper sliders. Dry finish protects all types of zippers from future damage and won't attract dirt. Here goes nothing. The next thing that the website recommended was to use needle nose pliers to actually tighten down the portion of the zipper that becomes loose with the constant use. So we're gonna try that as well. So you can even kind of see here how this portion is a little bent upwards. So I'm going to use this other guy as reference. It's looking a little bit more even. Look at that. Look at that. That, my friends, I'll be honest with you, I did not think it was going to be that easy. Oh, the other thing that was recommended on the website was this Down Wash Direct technical cleaner for down clothing and sleeping bags. Another thing that I thought was interesting, the difference between the men's bag versus the women's bag, is there's actually more insulation in the women's bag, even though they're rated for the same temperature. And that is because, yeah, women get colder often, more often than men. Or, I mean, you know, y'all, ladies, we got cold feet all the time. Actually look really good. That tear right there, I think I can just find a very simple patch for that. No holes, no gaps. Baby, I fixed it.
It actually worked, huh?
It did.
Nice.
Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider supporting our channel by buying our book, Travel Right Paint. This book was written on our through hike of the Pacific Crest Trail in 2024. It includes 140 watercolor illustrations, and it's available in our store.